Welcome to Just the Tip, where we have a short, candid talk with business owners and local people in the Austin or greater Austin metropolitan area. We want these tips to make life easier for people and add in a few bonus questions. So my guest today is Jaime Herrera. Jaime, thanks for taking the time to share some tips with us.
Hey, thank you for having me, Ian. Appreciate the opportunity.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the questions. All right, so the first question I would have is what's a way you can tell somebody what you do, but like on a 5th grade level?
Well, hopefully most 5th graders know I'm a roofer, but
yeah, but what does that mean?
or if it's really breaking it down, whenever Santa or whoever comes during certain holidays and hits the roof, someone has to go up there and fix it. And so I'm the guy that can help with that problem, alleviate it in case there's any scrapes or anything because of a sled or any of those other kind of opportunities.
That's good. I like that. You're right. Santa, you got to keep Santa safe or else you get no presents this year, right?
And if you don't fix it between the next year, well, you have a bad landing zone for him next year.
Yeah, so, bad landing zone.
Residual opportunity.
I like it. That's good. Okay, so remember this is about tips. So what is the best or easiest or most powerful tip that you want people to know related to your business? What's something that they need to know?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. I get a lot of homeowners that are sometimes not necessarily knowing the process, and they get afraid to ask the questions, and they always say, hey, this might be a dumb question, and they might have some question that's actually a really great question, or they might have someone else they've already talked to about the problem, and it might be a totally wrong answer that someone else may have had, or sometimes the homeowner 50 years ago was in the industry and knows some things and wants to tell me a couple things and just to make sure I know what I'm talking about too.
Right, they're testing you.
Yeah.
Dipping their toes in the water. They're like, I think I know you know, but I'm going to check. I'm going to check and see if you know what you're talking about. That's fun.
It's kind of like Pictionary. They're kind of like, do you know what this is? And it's like that. You know what the answer is, but they're not telling you to test you. And it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah. So really, there are no stupid questions. I'm fine if you test me. I'd rather you ask than to withhold.
Correct. Well, it also helps it's also easier on me whenever the process is finished. Because if me and you have an understanding of what's going to be done, what's going to be happening, and how the process is going along, then when the end of this happens, hopefully we can both be at a good meeting that's saying, hey, you know what, this is exactly what I wanted. And not necessarily after everything's installed, now you have 100 questions, and now I'm backtracking because I didn't really set up the scene. So let's get everything out in the open. Let's talk about everything that needs to happen, what it's going to look like, the process, the endpoint. That way everything's on the table.
So basically, they'll save money if they ask questions up front.
It could possibly be. Sometimes we have where the customer might want an upgrade, and because of my past self, I might not have asked for an upgrade because I was intimidated. But now that I know the product as well as I do, I'm able to say, hey, this is what I strongly recommend, and give them that kind of trust and assurability that this is the best option, and not necessarily maybe have to do an upgrade later on. Or now I only use certain products instead of inferior products because I want to make sure it's the best value for the client.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. Thank you for that one. How would you this one, we've talked about this one a little bit. How would you describe your perfect customer? The key is you can only use a meme or a GIF or a video. You can't just use words. You got to use something that's out there on the internet to describe your perfect customer.
So what I would do is basically have two neighbors talking about a roof. And then, well, it was two neighbors in front of the home, and then one neighbor asked the other neighbor, how did your roofer do? And they point to the roof and they say, he nailed it.
He nailed it.
Customer, someone who goes there, likes the product, and refers me.
Nice. That's good.
If they like the roof, they don't give me any hassle at the end, and they refer me. That's the perfect customer.
Everybody's got a perfect. That's good. Okay, so every day you're having conversations with different types of people that are interested in your business. What's one of the funniest questions you've heard?
Well, so going back to what you were saying about the expectations going forward, one of the funny things I thought I heard was, is that supposed to be looking like that? I, in my mind, was thinking to myself, do they not know that this is what I do all day, every day? Like, I'm not a moonlight kind of plumber or jack of all trades. This is all I do. And I thought that was funny. Yeah. In reality, I didn't set the expectations right and didn't say, hey, this is what it might look like right now. Or, because sometimes it's hard, the adhesive doesn't come down and just needs a couple days to settle.
Yeah.
I thought I was funny and I was like, are you serious? You're questioning me, the person you called out for your problem?
Yeah.
But then I realized it's partially my fault too. So that was one thing that I thought in the beginning was funny, but now I learned better to kind of set my expectations better. That way I don't get any of those questions.
No, that's great. That's the point of these dialogues, right? Because you have to be able to explain to people what it's going to look like, or else they don't know. Nobody knows. They don't do this all the time. What's the saying is, you don't know what you don't know.
Well, I started learning that when I get questions about the process, I think that are pretty simple or pretty straightforward, that means I didn't talk about my process that's well enough. So I started refining my process to go over everything, and my contract's getting longer and longer and longer, just to make sure that everything's on paper, that they understand who I am and have that trust.
This is kind of off the wall, off topic a little bit.
Off route.
Excuse me. All right, so this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I think it's funny anyway. Do you have a hidden talent or hobby that you're willing to share?
A hidden talent or a hobby that I'm willing to share?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be related to roofs. That's kind of the point. So people can get to know you, man.
Okay, well, I'm double jointed in my back. I have the shoulder blade pops out about 4 inches.
Oh, wow.
When I was 13 or 14, I actually submitted my shoulder blade to be into world record because of how big it can blow out. It did.
Are you in the Guinness book?
No, I'm not.
Oh, somebody had a bigger shoulder blade for real.
They said it's not in the parameters, but I one day I want to contest it because someone else could be this tall of a person. So why can't I hyperextend what part of my body that no one else can?
Right.
But in the vast majority of all the things in time and space, I didn't think that it was necessary to start that feud.
Yeah. Not a necessary feud, but man, that's cool. That's cool.
Some days. It's kind of like a hidden talent. If you're in high school, it's fun, but as you get older, it's like, oh, it's arthritis.
You see that stuff on, what are those? Like not America's Funniest Home Videos. There's a talent thing. America's Got Talent. You see that stuff all the time. All weird. This one guy that just bulges his eyes. I was like, what can you do with that? It doesn't matter what you can do with it. It's different and it's unique to you. So that's cool. Okay, so this next question is kind of centered around the local community, right? So if someone handed you a gift, they were like, here's $100 gift card, take your family out to have a good time. Where would you take it?
$100 gift card to take my family out. Man. Well, if it's me and the kids and the family, then I have to go to pinballs.
Pinballs. Okay, tell me about pinballs, or tell people about pinballs.
So pinballs is a local arcade we have here. Maybe it's a little bit farther out, but I've only seen them here. And it's just a place where we can eat, have fun, and have their food is actually pretty fresh tasting, but also has a variety of games and laser tag and rock climbing or golf. I don't know. I feel like they're always adding something to it.
Yeah.
One thing or another. I know the latest upgrade was a racetrack indoors. So nice. They just have a whole bunch of fun stuff. It's a very good cost value. But when you have little kids, they have 50 cents doesn't mean like it is not enough for them. So They can go through $50 in about 20 minutes.
Wow. But it's a good time. It's local. And the kids are happy. Because at the end of the day, you just want your kids and your wife happy.
Of course.
That's good. That's a good suggestion. I like that place.
Well, they have a few places north, south, and they always have plenty of space for everybody.
Yeah, that's good. That was a great one. Okay, next question. What is a quote that you sort of live by, or a quote that you use a lot in life?
So I know this question didn't come about, but I'm actually a veteran. I was Army 6 years, and there's a local, or not say local, one of our heroes in the military. His name's Travis Manning, and one of his quotes that they highlighted in his story was, "If not me, then who?" So
that's
if someone's
powerful.
not going to do something, then why not? And it kind of gives that motivation every day that there's someone else out there who's trying to go against kind of what you believe in.
Yes.
Or even when you drive, the one person that's not allowing all the cars to go through and they're just cutting everybody off, well, who's going to step in and be that person and say, you know what, let the car go through? Who's going to do that one good deed today? So I always try to live by that motto, if it's not me, then who? And if I can take my 5 seconds of today, take a breath and help one person out or do what I can to go the extra mile, and that's my motto.
Man, I love that. That's amazing. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Little tears to my nose. No, that was a really, really good one. I like that. And I've heard that too. But I guess I didn't have that perspective there. I was like, oh, that's good. And then just kind of moved on. But I like the way you said it.
It's all about perspective. It can be very small as to, someone who make sure people are safe, to people who are just doing day-to-day things. I mean, it's all about perspective. And as you get through more adversity, perspective gets a little bit more different.
Yeah. Man. Okay, so tell me about a local charity or a cause that you think people should know about.
Well, one that I thought was local that is actually national, but I bring it up for the sake of, is that every chapter feels like it's its own personal chapter because they're designed for their socioeconomics, but also they all have different parts of it. It's called Team Red, White, and Blue. So they get engaged through physical and social activities, and they kind of do things to kind of get the veterans and non-veterans engaged in the community. So I love it because no matter where you're at in the United States, they have a chapter usually nearby, and if you're part of it, you can do stuff with it. If you're not physical, maybe you can volunteer, and they just have so many aspects to it. And people there, they're already tied into the community. So if you get participating with one of them, I'm pretty sure you're going to find something that you want to do personally that would feed your soul.
I like that. Feed your soul. All right, so then the final question before we are done for the day. Question is, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you on the internet, how would they do that? Okay.
So if someone wanted to get a hold of me on Facebook, they can get on Facebook at Follow and Like Construction.
Okay.
If you can do that as well as LinkedIn, but it's not as in the works and as detailed as the Facebook one, but it's coming soon, hopefully.
Okay. So we'll do Facebook, your email, LinkedIn. That way people have multiple ways to get in touch with you if they need to.
Correct. And I mean, my Instagram is doing somewhat good. I don't have my Instagram really revolved around the business. It's all about me and the family. And originally, that sign is Jaime Herrera, my first and last name, 512.
Very good. 512. I wonder what that is.
Well, I'm as you know, I'm 8 generations Texan, so
yeah,
everything about me as I can do is Texas.
People can tell. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me, sharing some tips with people, and having a good conversation.
Hey, well, thank you, Ian, for your time and opportunity. You keep rocking everything you do out there, Ian of Austin.
I will. All right, man. I'll get you later.